Hamburger Helper, the cost-effective solution to the hungered question.
What? Huh? For?
Oh no.
Dinner.
The New York Times featuring its sudden popularity, highlighting the economic pressures consumers are facing at the dinner table.
One trend and true brand is making a big comeback as consumers tighten their wallets. And here it is, Hamburger Helper. The mix of mac and cheese and ground beef is seeing a surge in sales. Harris, I grew up on the cheeseburger Hamburger Helper, and it was very good with the extra cheese sprinkled on top.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here. And if there was ever a time for comfort food to make a comeback, right now is definitely the time. And guess what, folks? It's happening right now. That boxed up, ultra-processed, high-sodium classic Hamburger Helper is making an epic comeback. One that's got the MAGA faithful happier than a fly on.
It's so good. I feel like even like when I saw this on the rundown, it like immediately, I'm now craving this. I'm probably going to have it for dinner tonight just so everyone knows, because I too love it and grew up with it, and it's so yummy. It's such good comfort food.
But this little comeback tale, this return of nostalgic junk food, has a darker side in an era of losing SNAP benefits, because it's not the happy comeback story Fox News is making it out to be. Fox is treating the return of Hamburger Helper like a feel-good slice of Americana, when it's actually a recession alarm bell. It's the same kind of propaganda logic you'd expect out of Pyongyang. Take a sign of struggle, rebranded as pride. And the reality behind it? Worse. Trump's new import deal is about to flood the beef market with Argentinian trim, driving down cattle prices and hammering the very farmers he claims to support. And cattle ranchers? Well, they're pissed. And they should be.
President Trump last week suggested importing more beef from Argentina to increase the available supply. The National Cattlemen's Beef Association said it would undercut the future of family farmers.
The problem is, as the president talks about this, his rhetoric is heard by our markets, like our futures markets, and they respond immediately and violently, which impacts us directly and immediately, but has no impact on the retail, what the consumer buys. And so it's misguided. We understand what he's trying to do, but it's misguided because it's hurting us and not helping the consumer.
But now this brings up a bit of a conundrum because of how this is all being framed. And many Americans, quite honestly, are unsure how they're supposed to feel about it. On the surface, we could all probably say, well, you voted for this. Now you farmers can sleep in the bed that you've made. Everybody's feeling the pain. Beef prices are outrageous. Hell, I went to the grocery store the other day and saw that 3 steaks cost about $60. How are you supposed to feed your family without SNAP benefits and at the same time feel sympathy for cattle ranchers who've finally been making bank for the first time in years with high beef prices? And if you go online and start digging around to see how this is being spun, it gets even more ridiculous. On social media, the MAGA crowd is out there acting like this Argentina beef deal is the greatest thing since sliced bread. They're posting pictures of fancy steakhouse spreads, talking like every American's about to be dining Rodizio style, waiters walking out with skewers of prime cuts like it's a Fogo de Chao night in Buenos Aires. That's the fantasy they're selling because they're too dumb to know the difference. But the bait and switch is absolutely real, because when you actually read the fine print and dig a little deeper, that imported beef everyday Americans will get isn't steak, it's hamburger. The cheap filler used for fast food, TV dinners, and you guessed it, Hamburger Helper.
Adding more imports to an industry that has suffered as a result of excessive imports is the wrong thing to do. Even though Argentina is a relatively small percentage increase, it's an increase above the record beef imports that we've had for the past 2 years that have displaced domestic production, displaced domestic cows, and driven cattle ranchers off the land. So we need a better solution.
So once again, propaganda television is turning struggle into pride, dressing up recession food like it's prosperity, while ranchers are getting undercut and we're all left paying the price. Let's talk about this Trump-Argentina deal. Yeah, it isn't about giving Americans better beef at lower costs. It's about opening the door for imported trim. The lowest grade cuts, the leftovers American processors usually grind up for filler, hot dogs, and bargain bin burgers. This isn't steakhouse cuts or roast beef. That stuff goes to fancy restaurants poor families can't afford. The proposed import deal is the stuff that ends up in your drive-through burger or frozen TV dinner. Perfect for packaged meals. Do you see the underhanded way Fox and friends are spinning this? They're getting desperate. American families excited about salty, nostalgic comfort food because under Trump's plan for agriculture, that's all they're going to get. And that's if they're lucky. Folks, now here is the bottom line. By flooding the market with cheap imports, Donald Trump isn't helping American ranchers. He's undercutting them. He's interfering in the markets, driving down prices for the very people who raised cattle here at home, all while pretending that he has their back. It's a con, the same kind of con he pulled on soybean farmers when he sided with Argentina for that $40 billion bailout. Now he's screwing over U.S. ranchers to benefit Argentina. So let's just call it what it is. America first, please. This deal should come with a big red label that says Argentina first, because that's where they're all going to run when this is all over. So this is why this moment matters. Why we all should care. Because now we're seeing the effects of how Trump's idiotic tariffs hit everyone firsthand. The stupidity doesn't discriminate between party lines. And when it hits you personally, your wallet, your job, your family, that's when you finally realize this isn't the right way to go. And when people who've stood by Donald Trump from day one start saying, no, you've crossed the line, that's not just a headline, that's a wake-up call. The Cattlemen's Association in this country is one of the most powerful agricultural organizations out there. And when they draw a line in the sand, you'd better believe that they can back it up. This affects every single one of us because this is our food supply. It's not the ranchers setting the price of beef. It's the corporate packers, the middlemen, the profiteers. They're the ones manipulating the market, squeezing both sides. And now Trump's deal is giving them a bigger cut while Fox sells the rest of us an ultra-processed salty lie. People don't understand how bad this proposed deal really is. They still think it's about steak, about premium Argentinian cuts being served up like some high-end steakhouse fantasy, but it's not. And while Fox News is out here framing this as a return to nostalgia, it's not a comeback story. It's a collapse story, a recession warning. It's not the taste of Americana. It's the taste of desperation. It's a return to Depression-era food lines dressed up as a victory dinner. Colorado Treasurer Dave Young laid it out plain. This isn't just about beef imports or ranching politics. It's about stability.
Colorado agricultural industry supports more than 18,000 jobs and nearly 200,000 more indirectly across rural communities. That success depends on one key ingredient: predictability. When federal tariff policy shifts without warning, it threatens to shake the foundation of our state's agricultural economy. During the first half of this year alone, meat-related exports from Colorado fell nearly $39 million compared to 2024, translating into an estimated 265 jobs lost and an $80 million hit to our state's GDP. Our producers are paying more for everything from fertilizer to seed stock to machinery and parts, driving up production costs and reducing competitiveness.
When federal trade policy shifts overnight, it throws entire rural economies into chaos. Nearly $40 million in lost exports, hundreds of jobs gone, and an $80 million hit to Colorado's GDP, all in 6 months. And that ripple doesn't stop at the state line. When ranchers lose confidence, when farmers can't basically plan ahead, when prices swing like a wrecking ball, it hits everyone. The truckers hauling the cattle, the grocery stores buying the meat, the restaurants trying to keep their doors open, and every family staring at a $9 pound of ground beef wondering what the hell happened. This is how it affects all of us. When the people who grow, raise, and feed America are destabilized, so is every community that depends on them. You can't run a country on chaos. You can't feed a family on false promises and market manipulation. And that's why this matters, because this isn't just about the ranchers anymore. It's about all of us sitting at the same table, wondering how much longer we can afford dinner. So how are we supposed to feel about this? Is this really your line in the sand, ranchers? Or are you going to stand by and support him while he keeps wrecking the entire country? We're all wondering, and we'll stand with you if you stand up, because this could be it, the moment when people finally wake up and say no more. Because what's being sold to us right now through Fox News and right-wing propaganda isn't pride, it's poison. It's the distraction Mike Johnson and the rest of them feed you while they pick your pockets. The same network that screams about making America healthy again is out here hyping up boxed junk food and imported beef scraps like it's some kind of patriotic miracle. So what's it going to be, America? Are we going to keep swallowing the lie, or are we finally all together going to say enough is enough? Sappers clear the way, everyone all the way.